What is Bitcoin? In summary, Bitcoin is a decentralized electronic money ecosystem that moves from person to person using the internet. This innovation was created in October 2008 by a person or a group named Satoshi Nakamoto. Bitcoin became popular due to the rapid growth in its value. For example, in 2010, one Bitcoin was valued at 50 cents, and today, it is hovering around $20,000. The high profits and volatility of Bitcoin generate many controversies in the world of finance. Many think that it has no real value, and that it will eventually drop to zero. Others think that it will be the future of the financial system. Regardless of these opinions, Bitcoin is a technology that deserves to be understood by the people. So, to get a definite understanding of Bitcoin, it is necessary to understand the three variants that make up its ecosystem. The first one is money. The second one is the banking system. And the third one is the technology that enables its functionality. So let's begin with number one. What is money? As we've learned through history, money is a tool used by societies to communicate the value of goods and services. For example, if a mechanic fixes your car, he will charge a specific amount of money to communicate the value of his work. This is why money must function as a medium of exchange, so the consumers can pay for their goods and services. Also, money must function as a unit of account, so the consumers know the value of the things they are consuming. And finally, money must function as a store of value, so it can be used in the future. Apart from these three functions, money must be recognized by a group of people so its value can be legitimate. Bitcoin meets each of these requirements, which is why it meets our definition of real money. Variant number 2. The banking system. In the financial ecosystem, banking institutions like central banks and commercial banks are responsible for protecting and managing the assets of their participants. That is why banking institutions serve as the record keepers and offer services such as saving accounts, transactions, investments, and loans. Bitcoin also offers these services, which qualifies it as a digital bank. The difference between Bitcoin and traditional banks is that Bitcoin is governed by its users and banks by a central authority. For these reasons, many people, companies, and countries like El Salvador have migrated to the Bitcoin ecosystem. To better understand the differences between traditional banking and Bitcoin, let's take a look at this comparison table. After seeing this table, we can say that banks have total control of their clients' funds. We can also say that in Bitcoin, you are in control of your own funds. After understanding why Bitcoin is a combination of traditional money and bank, let's study the third variant and the most important of all. Third variant. Technology. The first thing we should know is that Bitcoin is not a company, but a protocol just like the internet. The difference is that the internet is a protocol that communicates all kinds of information, while Bitcoin only communicates transactions. Bitcoin uses the infrastructure of the internet, which is why its service is accessible and reaches everywhere. As we all know, the internet is the most efficient tool to send and receive information. However, it does not do a good job at protecting that information from being manipulated. Bitcoin was the first protocol to discover the components that solve this alteration and reversion of data on the public internet. Let's look at each of these components. First, digital wallet address. In order to receive, send, and save Bitcoin, we first have to create a digital wallet. A digital wallet address can be obtained through crypto platforms or by creating a soft or cold wallet, which will be further discussed in future videos. When you get the digital wallet address, you will receive a public key and a private key. The public key is the code that represents your digital wallet and the one you share to receive Bitcoins. This works just like your bank account number. The private key is the key that validates the ownership of your Bitcoin. For example, when you make a digital payment using your debit card, you need to insert your debit card, enter your private code, and sign the receipt. This is how the bank makes sure that the payment is legitimate. For Bitcoin, its software will give you a private key, and this is the only key that can open your digital wallet where your Bitcoin is stored. The private key is composed of 64 digits randomly generated, or 12 to 24 different words also randomly generated. The private key must not be forgotten or shared under any circumstances. Second, decentralized digital ledger. What happens when transactions are made? Like banks, Bitcoin collects your transactions in a digital ledger. This ledger is stored in the software of hundreds of thousands of anonymous computers, which are scattered throughout the world. In a Bitcoin transaction, you can identify the public key of the sender, the public key of the receiver, the amount and the date and time of the transaction. When new transactions are made, they are sent to the software of the computers. Then, these computers are in charge of verifying that the sender and receiver of each transaction are legitimate, and also that the funds are sufficient to make the payment. Once everything is confirmed, the transactions are recorded in the softwares of the computers. And this is the mechanism that makes Bitcoin decentralized. Third, blockchain. After the computers confirm the transactions, they have to go through a process of organization, protection, and integration. This process is implemented by the blockchain. The blockchain is the technology that solved the security problem of the public internet. It would be valid to say that without the blockchain, Bitcoin would not exist. Before protecting its transactions, the blockchain organizes them by dates and puts them in blocks. Once organized into the blocks, the next step is to protect the blocks. The technology used to protect the blocks is called cryptographic hash function. The cryptographic hash function is a digital key that fulfills three functions. The first function is to turn any message into an unbreakable code. The second is to convert any amount of data into a fixed size of 64 digits. And the third one is to not allow the information to be reversed. For example, if one of the digits of this transaction is altered, the hash will change completely. After organizing and protecting the transactions in the blocks, the next step in the blockchain is to integrate one of the blocks into the chain. To integrate the next block, the cryptographic hash that protects the last block in the chain must be cracked. This step is very complex, which is why hundreds of thousands of high-capacity computers work day and night to decipher this hash. When a block is added to the chain, the other blocks update their transactions to follow the same order. Once completed, it will immediately start to add the next block to the chain. Fourth, anonymous computers, or network nodes. As we already know, Bitcoin needs high-capacity computers to verify its transactions and decipher the hash functions of its blocks. Transaction verification is considered light work and Bitcoin does not offer rewards for it. On the other hand, cracking cryptographic hash functions is considered difficult and expensive work. For this work, Bitcoin offers great rewards. For example, to crack the hash function of the previous block, the computers must compete with each other to see who will crack it first. This competition takes about 10 minutes and consumes a lot of electricity. This process is known as proof of work. As a reward, the Bitcoin software will award 6.25 Bitcoin to the computer that wins the competition. This is the mechanism used to add new Bitcoins in circulation. The Bitcoin software is programmed so that only 21 million Bitcoins enter circulation within a period of 132 years. This is how Bitcoin competes against inflation. Thanks to the perfection of Bitcoin technology, hundreds of computer developers were inspired to create the thousands of crypto projects that we have today. After understanding what Bitcoin really is, we can realize that its purpose is not to make one rich as many think. In contrast, what Bitcoin did is that it integrated today's technology, so those who are not in favor of the banking system, or do not have access to a bank, can effectively and safely participate in the world trade system. We just arrived at the end of this video and we would like to ask, what do you think about Bitcoin? Write your answers in the comment section. If you like this video and appreciate our work, we will ask you to press the like button, subscribe to our channel, and to hit the notification bell. These actions help the growth of our channel and for that we thank you. See you in the next video.